Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sightless Voices Unleashing Potential. I am your hostie with the mostie, Jennifer Parrish, and today we are sharing a story of strength, transformation, and leadership from right here at the good old Lighthouse of Houston. Our guest is Miss Ana Escobedo, a dynamic leader, dedicated mother, and a skilled customer service professional behind our FixIt Lighthouse call center. As the extremely dedicated lead of this University of Houston call center team, Ana brings compassion, clarity, and confidence to every interaction. But her story, y'all, most definitely didn't start here. Ana's story spans life before vision loss, the challenges adjusting to a new reality, and the resilience that carried her into a career where she now supports others every single day. Her voice is one courage, adaptability, and deep family love. And today she's going to share it with us. And I'm so excited, y'all. I have known Ana for 10 years and I'm finally getting her on the podcast.
Yay.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's begin with your story. What was life like before your vision loss? And then how did that chapter shape who you are today?
Well, it was totally a shock when I lost my vision, but I had a whole life where I knew nothing about the blind world whatsoever.
Right.
I had no idea, no clue how. I didn't even think about what being blind, what blind individuals did. Nothing. My life was just a normal, what I thought was a normal life, just every day, work, hustle, doing my thing before I lost my vision. And it was like running into a brick wall at 100 miles an hour when I lost my vision.
Absolutely. And we're going to get into it. And it's pretty crazy story. Also, stay tuned.
A green tinted screen and braille lettering pops up that turns into the white Lighthouse of Houston logo. The Sightless Voices Unleashing Potential cover art pops up on screen. There's a flash, then clips of Jennifer's eye, her walking down the hall, and reading braille appear. A montage of clips from episodes of the podcast begins with Jennifer talking to our guests and smiling. It zooms in on the Sightless Voices Unleashing Potential cover art.
But before we get into today's conversation, let me describe our set for our blind listeners. We are seated in blue chairs with wooden tables next to us. Behind us is a white brick wall with soft blue lighting and a glowing neon lighthouse sign. So before your vision loss, so what did your life look like? So your work, your goals, and your day-to-day world.
Well, I actually supervised a group of people. We handled bankruptcy. I worked for the largest bankruptcy foreclosure firm in Houston. We handled cases for mortgage companies. Before that, I actually worked all aspects of bankruptcy and foreclosure. I started with working for a debtor's attorney. I did that for 5 years, and then I always worked contract for the attorney that I originally started with. Then I went to working for a trustee's office, which is kind of the middleman, and then went to a creditor's firm where I supervised over 11 paralegals. I had to go through cases and cases before giving them to the attorneys to take. And this is all before scanning, before we had digital anything.
Right. It was
we had
paper.
actual paper files.
Good Lord.
So I had tons of paperwork to look through, tons of files, all exhibits and a bunch of stuff. Stuff that when I lost my vision, I thought, there's no way I could do what I did, cited, going through, talking about hundreds of documents before giving them to the attorneys to take to court. And like I said, these were paper files. We had stacks and stacks and stacks. And we did cases all over Texas. And I handled Texas bankruptcy at right before I lost my vision. That's what I did. Right. So I was very busy. I was always working. I worked over 12 hours a day daily. I worked on weekends. We had so many cases. We represented practically every mortgage company in the Texas area. When we did national level as well, but I handled Texas.
Spoiler alert, guys, she still works that hard. This girl's a workaholic. But so what parts of your identity or routine felt most important to you during that time? Work, sounds like.
Work, yeah. At work, and then, of course, I was a mother.
Yes.
So I still had, I was raising two beautiful daughters. They thank God they're 9 years apart. So it was, I had, an older one and a younger one. There was a big age gap between the two. But when I lost my vision, my oldest just said, well, she was about to be 18 and my youngest was about to be 10. So with a 17-year-old and a 9-year-old at the time of my vision loss, it was a big change on them.
Right. Because you got one about to graduate high school and then the other one like as a kid.
Yeah.
So dang.
And then and I picture them in my head. My oldest just turned 33 and my youngest is about to be 25. She's still 24. But in my head, they're still young. I mean, my daughter, my youngest, is now wearing, she's wearing makeup. She's driving a car, both of them. My oldest, I had to force to drive. I mean, I had to get her to drive.
Wow.
When I lost my vision, I was the driver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then not being able to drive, I miss that. I miss that a lot.
I can't imagine you on the road, Ana.
Yeah.
Like
on my way here, in an Uber,
right.
I putting lipstick on. I used to drive, put lipstick on, and listen, do it all. Talk on the phone.
Talk on the phone. Hey, settle down, police. She can't do it anymore. Like,
but they're trying to put lipstick on in an Uber,
right?
With absolutely no vision. Because I went from completely sighted to no vision from literally one day to the next.
Yeah, and so
that was hard.
So looking back on your life before your vision loss, what do you wish that people understood about the person you were before your vision changed?
When I was before, I mean, when you think about it, you don't. I mean, I was just living my life, just living, going to work, getting up, going to work. You kind of just you take for granted being able to even I couldn't remember which side was hot, which side was cold on when it came to water.
Right.
So turning on the faucet.
Because you always looked, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it didn't.
Yeah.
It just the thought about it after I lost my vision. I remember standing in front of the sink like, which one is hot? Which one is cold?
Right.
I was dumbfounded. I was in. I mean, I for the first 2 years of my vision loss, I was in a pity party of my own. I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to leave my bedroom.
Certainly.
I didn't even want to go downstairs. I stayed in my room for a long time. I didn't want to listen to anything on TV that I didn't already see before, which I would see what was on. In my head, I would see what was on the screen.
Right.
If it was something new, I didn't want to
venture.
No, I didn't. I did not. Mm-hmm. I just was so lost. It was depressing. It was so depressing.
And that's a common theme, what I mean? And with people that have lost their vision. And, I feel for you guys. I really, really do. And real quick, so just for our peeps out there in TV radio land, let's talk about, the journey, the vision loss journey, whenever, it began and then how you navigated through the changes.
Well, after the first 2 years and thinking, okay, this is my own pity party. I mean, there's nobody here but myself. Mm-hmm. And then being so mad at God. I was so mad at God. I'm like, what did I do? What did I do in my life that was so, that I deserved this punishment? And now looking back at it, like when I talk to my family, I'm like, I feel like I see more now than I did when I had eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I sit back and I see, but I see differently. I see with my ears. And now I'm gonna cry. But even with with my grandkids, I've never seen my grandkids ever.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have.
Yeah.
And I love them to no end. My babies, I mean.
Yep.
My grandson's
them on a deeper
8.
level.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I do. My grandson, he's got hearing loss.
Yeah.
And he was born that way. He was premature. He was born that way. And just when he looks at me, I think he realizes his own disability.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's touching. It really is.
And if he sees you navigating the world,
yeah, I mean, but he realizes it because he will talk sometimes and he'll be like, well, my mom says when we get to heaven, we'll be perfect.
Aww. And
he says, you'll be able to see and I'll be able to hear. And that just touches my heart so much.
Definitely. Yeah. And
I did not know I was going to cry. But yeah.
I told you get in here and people let the waterworks starts. And it's okay. It's okay to have all those feelings. It is okay to cry. Hey, I get it. I totally get it. If you feel comfortable, and if you do not, it is okay. We don't have to go down this highway. Do you want to talk about how specifically that you lost your vision?
Yeah. So I contracted H1N1, the swine flu, when it was before the coronavirus.
Right.
And I was
2010, right?
it was between 2010. It was actually I went into the hospital at the end of 2009 and got out in 2010. I was in there for 4 months. I had literally I couldn't breathe anymore. They had trached me. I had lost my all 4 quadrants of my lungs had collapsed.
Oh my gosh.
And I was so weak. I couldn't speak. Like I said, I was trached. And then little by little, I started getting better. And they had me in an induced coma at that point. And I started getting out slowly. I'd been out of the hospital and getting physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, everything. I had to learn to walk again. I had gotten down like to 89 pounds. It was horrible. And when they started taking me off all my medications, I was on for some reason I was getting a lot of blood clots. And when they started taking me off my medications, they kind of took me off too fast, and I went to sleep with a bad headache. It was on January 22nd of 2011. And I just remember laying down with a real bad headache and woke up, and I was completely blind. I had a blood clot from my optic nerve to my brain. And I didn't go to the hospital right away, which is crazy.
So you were at home?
I was at home.
Okay.
I'd laid down. I mean, that morning, if somebody would have told me that morning, when you wake up, when you go lay down and wake up, you'll be completely blind, I thought they were crazy.
Yeah.
And then being type 1 diabetic, everybody thought, oh my God, diabetes, that's what made her lose her vision. No, because I hear that, a lot of times people gradually lose their vision. And mine was like, boom, I literally running into a brick wall. Woke up, no vision. I mean, the first time I got into the shower, I thought I was drowning, standing there in the shower with water over my head. I mean, I was like panicking.
Right.
And I remember the time my husband had said, you're going to scare the girls. And I'm like, I'm not worried about the kids right now.
Right.
I really wasn't.
Yeah.
I was, and my poor girls probably, had to suffer. And then I remember hearing Victoria's story about having to cook for her kids. That's the same thing. My daughter was 9 at the time, my youngest. I remember like showing her, and we still, to this day, we call making spaghetti blind spaghetti. Because that's probably one of the first things that we made kind of together. Mm-hmm. And then now everybody loves her spaghetti. But
I was going to ask you about the blind spaghetti. I'm glad you brought it up.
Blind spaghetti, something that I thought, okay, I can do this. I can do the whole ground beef thing and put in the sauce and, boil noodles. Yep. And I thought that would, that was an easy meal. But, I had to learn to do all that again.
Yep. And she can cook now. Look at
now I cook. I have burns all over my arms, and that's not going to stop me.
But exactly. I mean, and that's accidents happen, and sometimes it just happens. But guess what? We're getting her done.
Then we're eating. Now we're healthy.
Now we're healthy.
Yeah.
What were some of the hardest adjustments whenever you first lost your vision? Then how did you move through them?
Just knowing what it was like to see.
Yeah.
Not being able to see. But then, I met people, that were in the same boat as me. I went to Chris Cole in Austin. I waited a while. I mean, I went and toured it and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I can't get away from my family. I can't leave. And then when I finally decided, okay, I'm ready. With people in the same boat as myself, I met people who were born with vision impairment. I mean, absolutely no vision. Yep. And they didn't even know what, the difference between a mirror and holding a glass of water that you can see through a clear glass of water, but yet you can't see through a mirror, but you can see yourself in a mirror. Right. That was something, just touching the glass and knowing the difference. I'm grateful for being able to know that versus not being able to know that. Color, I know what colors are. I know what red looks like. I know what pink looks like. I mean, now I don't see them, but I know them.
Right.
So going from a completely sighted world to a blind world, definitely a change. But, it's a journey. You find you can live. I mean, you can keep on going, even though you don't think you can. Right. Learning to read a different way. I was a very visual learner. You can learn. I mean, because that was another thing. I thought, well, how am I going to learn anything? I'm a visual learner. I'm a hands-on, feeling, looking, and
Right.
I would take notes, write all the time. And I just had to learn how to do everything differently.
Right.
So that, learning to do everything a different way.
Exactly.
Without, my vision.
That's a common theme too, is just do it different.
In fact, when I had gone to Chris Cole, they had given us, or when I'd gone to tour Chris Cole, they'd given us some blindfolds. And I mean, of course I didn't need them, but I put them on. And my daughter said, I want to see what it's like. So she had planned the whole day to be blindfolded. And again, mind you, she's 9 at the time.
Oh, wow.
And she put them on. She couldn't even eat a bag of chips. She didn't even have those on for 30 minutes. And she couldn't eat a bag of chips with the blindfold. So,
I bet that was a funny
it was funny
experience.
And
but
I don't
great.
think I can get them to do it now. I don't think I can get either one of them to do that now.
But I mean, they know now what firsthand what you were dealing with. And there's only one way to figure that out, and that's submersion. And you got to go jump in the water and put the blindfold on,
Well, now it's like they forget sometimes I'm blind. I'll get like, hey, look at this, or,
Yeah.
And
or like, do you get over there? Do people tell you over there? Where's this?
All the time.
Over there. Over
All
there.
the time.
Bro, no.
It's right here. It's like, where's right here?
Right here.
Yeah, they do that all the time. And then, and it's because my family says I make blind look so easy. It's like, what, do I need to make it look harder so I can get some help around here?
Right? Exactly. What do you think was a turning point or like a moment like of clarity? Then you realized that you could rebuild and adapt and even thrive in a new way?
When I met people who had been on the journey from day one, or were on the journey for a while, and then I met a bunch of people from beginners, right. People who had been blind, and then people who were newly blind. Just meeting them and seeing that they were able to do things still. I mean, doing the skydiving in Austin. I mean, that was pretty cool.
You did skydiving?
I did.
Holy crap.
It was so much fun. And I didn't think I'd ever do that. Going to a movie and listening, audio description. I love it.
Yeah.
I could be washing dishes, cleaning the floor, doing everything and listening to Netflix with the audio description. Mm-hmm. Where, as when I was sighted, you have to sit there and focus. I didn't watch very many movies before I lost my vision. I was always so busy. I was always working so much.
Right.
Now I'm multitask. I can literally be working, listening to a book, and,
right.
going out to eat, and you're sitting at a restaurant, and you're so used to listening to Jaws speak. Sometimes I could hear an entire conversation at the table next to me and still have a conversation with people in front of me. I'm not trying to be nosy.
Right. But sometimes people make it your business because
They
they're
make my business
talking loud.
Yeah, so.
That's funny.
That comes in when talking about going out to eat. I remember going out to eat and having a waiter or waitress ask my family, what does she want? Trying to get my order.
I get fired up when I hear that.
Yeah, it's like I can still hear.
Yeah, I get kind of smart assy with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, she wants you to talk to her.
But then I've had people not know I'm blind, and I'm maybe standing in their way at a store.
Yeah,
my daughter said somebody was in front of me, shaking her head, moving around because I was in her way. And my daughter just went up to her. She can't see you, and the lady got so embarrassed, just took off. She didn't even know what she was shopping for anymore.
I love it. That's awesome.
And they don't know you're visually impaired. They
think there's a problem with you now. And so and two, like, so this is something I don't know. Do your eyes look different?
One of my eyes does.
Okay.
Well, probably both of them eventually will be. One of them's like all white now, clouded.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that's because ended up getting a cataract. Because my retinas are detached on both eyes. Yeah. Because I don't even have light provision. I don't see anything.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm from going to being able to see everything to not being able to see anything. It's crazy.
Let's talk more about your motherhood because you are such a devoted mom, and I love
Hey,
all
Grandma.
of this. Yay! Yeah, you can shout out your peeps. That's fine. What does parenting as a blind woman like? What has it taught you about, your strength, your creativity, your family connections?
I hope that my daughters and my grandchildren will see that, if you don't give up, don't give up. I hope they see that I'm still, I'm still doing everything that I did before. At least my daughters, besides driving them around, I do everything still. And I just hope that, gives them a different insight in life. I hope that it's, it was hard. They saw the struggle for sure. but they also, I hope, see that I overcame that struggle, that I didn't just stay in my pity party like I was at the beginning, because they most definitely saw that part as well. They saw the caterpillar before a butterfly. They saw the struggle, but I hope they see that I've overcome that. And I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's still frustrating sometimes when you can't, you wish that you could just take whatever blindfold off and see. But I mean, it not that I don't have faith, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Not in this lifetime. When I'm gone in heaven, I'll be able to see again. But right now, you live day by day, and I hope that being a mother, that I've taught my children that, and that being a grandmother, my grandchildren see that as well, especially with my grandson being hearing impaired. Like I said, I don't even think he even really realized that he was hearing impaired,
right?
Until it's like, hey, hold up. There's people that have disabilities, and they can still do what they need to do. Like my grandson will try to teach me sign language. I can't see it, but I can feel his little hands.
Right.
And I mean, he can speak clearly. And he has trouble hearing, so he has to put on, of course, his hearing aids. But I mean, he's a resilient little boy. He can speak to you, and he can sign language, so he can communicate with you. That's really awesome. Good. And then he teaches me. So
do you do like the Helen Keller sign language in the hand?
Yeah, he'll do that. He'll do that with me.
Yeah. And are you starting to understand it?
Oh yeah.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
It is so cute because him and my daughter and him communicate from across the room.
Oh.
And yeah, sometimes I'm like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
Don't
leave me out.
Yeah.
Like, really, exactly. Well, and then now, so they're going to see you on this podcast and be like, now Grandma's famous.
Well, they already think you're a movie star, and I know you.
No.
So
Far.
He said, she's a movie star. And I said, yeah, I know her.
That's hilarious. I'll take it, I guess.
Shout out to Mila and Mondo.
Yay, Mila Mondo.
My grandchildren.
Yes. Awesome. Love them. Okay. Well, so then let's talk about working at the Lighthouse. Cause this is a big old part of your, after vision loss. And so when you first came to the Lighthouse, what did it feel like to finally be surrounded by people who understood your journey, and not just personally, but professionally as well?
Well, the first thing, when I came to the Lighthouse for the first time, I took a call center training class. I mean, working the way I work, even learning how to type and everything, but
yep.
I had somebody that would type things for me. I mean, it was different. So learning, the whole customer service aspect. I mean, they don't see you on the telephone. They don't. They're not sitting there staring at you, and that made me more comfortable.
Exactly.
So I took the class, and people on the telephone don't know if you can see or if you can't see. They don't really care, as long as you're taking care of whatever they need. So I took that class, and it gave me confidence. It helped me build confidence. It built my confidence, because we got a contract with Harris County Sheriff's Office, and it was a pilot contract. We had that for about a year. So that was like getting my feet wet. Getting into the water, literally answering phones where there's a live person on the other end, and just slowly, taking baby steps with the Lighthouse. I mean, the Lighthouse, had that. And then I had volunteered. I started volunteering at it was
Enterprise.
I don't think it was called Enterprise.
It wasn't
at the
called
time.
Enterprise yet, but our
packing soap.
Yes, right, exactly.
it.
What they do, packaging, and we have a lot of shout out to our Enterprise people. Yeah. Lots of jobs over there for them, and so you said you volunteered.
I started volunteering.
Yeah.
Doing that after the Harris County Sheriff pilot program ended.
Right.
And then Sheila, at the time, she was our president at the time. I didn't go one day, and she's like, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I just had some stuff to do at home." She's like, "Well, come back." And then I came back, and she started putting me back on the payroll. So I started working there, doing that. And then I guess they at that time they had summer programs where kids would come in and pack soap. So I had stopped for a little while doing that when the children had come in for the summer. And then we had the VA contract with Michael DeBakey in Houston doing their switchboard. So then I started doing that, and just more confidence, actually, working.
Mm-hmm. And you had to actually like go to the VA and get out
go to
and
the VA
deal with finding a hospital, finding where you got to go, all that kind of stuff. So that's really
maneuvering my way around.
correct.
I mean, when the first time that I was given a cane, I didn't have any orientation mobility training formally till I went to Chris Cole. And then that's where, I learned how to walk with the cane. But they brought one to me and I'm like,
what do I do?
Yeah. I was like swinging that thing around like crazy. I thought I was about to hit people out of my way.
Oh my God.
Hit everything out of my way.
Exactly.
So then I learned how to use that. And then that helped me definitely at going on, site to Michael DeBakey. And that's a huge hospital complex,
dude,
period.
Like it's from what I understand, it's enormous.
It's huge.
So.
And then, working with mortgage companies and VA loans, a lot of people that I worked with before, people that I had trained, cited, they were working at the VA.
Really?
So I had 3 people that I worked with.
Oh, wow.
At the VA. That. It was awesome. Yeah.
That's so cool. And were they like, holy crap?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, first of all, you went blind. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That type of thing. And after that shock, and you're here. Yeah. They worked at the administration building next to the hospital.
Right.
So that was pretty, that was pretty neat. Letting them know, hey, I'm good.
You look up resilience in the dictionary, and it's this girl's picture right here, man. Like, she's a gangster. I just every day I'm like, wow, because it's one thing to know nothing else, like myself and to a degree, John, but like you're so awesome. Like I envy you.
Well, then you learn. I learned what I learned at Chris Cole as far as JAWS, but. Again, I had to be put in the mix to learn this. And at that time, John was my supervisor at Harris County.
That's so funny.
And he, JAWS. He taught me everything JAWS.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I need to know to do my job, I learned from John.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yep.
I got an introduction at Chris Cole, but still it was all so new. I was a sighted person, and I'm like, hello, I haven't been blind all my life, so I needed JAWS for dummies.
Right.
And he taught me JAWS for dummies, literally. He taught me JAWS for dummies, and I mean, now I'm pretty proficient with JAWS. Mm-hmm. I can actually help people myself.
And you love to learn too. Like I love that you're so like just open book. Like let's go. Wanting to learn everything. And it's funny that we're bringing up old Juanito again because the last episode I was explaining that my better half, y'all. He's got Stargardt's, and so like he had to teach himself. Yeah. I'm like, he's like, I got to learn JAWS. I got to use a cane because in case, God forbid, the vision goes south, I know it. And then, and then he ends up teaching you. And so it's cool to pay it forward and see where it's going. And then now look at you, you're going to teach other people.
Yeah, and he
too.
hates recognition, but
no, he does.
Shout out to John.
Shout out to
Juanito.
John. Ha ha.
Yeah. He hates it, but
he won't ever watch this.
Yeah. But I mean, it's seriously.
Yeah.
When you meet people who are willing to then I felt like I was the one that was always helping people.
Yeah.
And I needed it bad.
Yep.
And then you have somebody who like, no big deal, here, let me show you. And that's who I want to be. I want to be that person. Hey, no big deal. Let me show you how to do this.
Exactly.
Let me show you what we need to do.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
So,
it feels good to pay it forward for
sure.
You know what I mean? So, and now as the esteemed Lighthouse FixIt call center lead, what does this role mean to you, and what do you love most about that?
I love it all. I thought about this question. I love everything that I do. I mean, so John and I were the first ones that started the contracts that are still here, that contract. So we from day one, we had no training. We were probably given 2 or 3 sheets of paper and said, this is what we do. You're going to answer the phone, answer it like this, and not even really telling us,
right?
Exactly what to say. We kind of just, we
kind of winged it.
Winged it big time with the script. I mean, just all of a sudden here, you'll be answering the phones tonight. We're like, what? So we kind of, put together, we have a whole training little module, whole bunch of training material that we do now.
Oh my gosh.
And we tag team them when we get, somebody new.
Yep.
John and I both, we tag team. We he teaches them all about what they need with their computers, and then, just
your processes and
Our
procedures.
process has gotten awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome,
I mean,
awesome.
like
We love it.
they've come from what they were given to what they're giving out is just night and day. Like you guys have just oh my God, it's so awesome. Like, and so I'm so proud to be like overseeing this department because you ain't no trouble.
Yeah.
It's just thanks to you guys.
But I
you
love
know?
everything that we do. And you know, the U of H, we get calls from students, from faculty, from anybody who's on the campus to you know, they're calling with problems that need to be fixed. We're FixIt.
Yeah.
So, you know, they call us when anything from toilets clogged, overflowing, to lights out, electricity issues, elevator entrapments, everything. Dead animals, we get them all.
Yeah, they get possum calls. It's fun.
Possum calls, bat in the building, bats in the building.
And then everything too, like you got Tillman Fertitta Center and the AC's out or something's not working. Like, I mean, there's like major sporting facilities that you guys have to facilitate, like getting repairs out there for.
Yeah,
so.
on Valentine's Day, there was an outage during a basketball game.
Oh my.
Yeah, so we had to quickly get, you know, somebody over there to, you know, I mean, these are televised.
Lights are out.
The lights are flashing on and off because we had a bad storm come this last Valentine's Day in February.
Right. How has working at the Lighthouse supported your independence and your confidence and your professional growth?
Well, it's definitely given me, self-worth, which I had lost. I did. I mean, when I lost my vision, I thought, what good am I? And I mean, being able to work and help other people and do a real job. It's not, I mean, this is a job that, it's not necessarily, it's not just for blind, a sighted person would probably be like, what do I do next? The struggle. So, I mean, it just being employable, the Lighthouse made me employable. And bottom line, without the Lighthouse, I don't think I would have had the independence to be employable, to even feel that I was worth being employed again.
You are so worth being employed.
I lost that, but I mean,
yes.
For those who lose their vision or know anybody, because that's another thing. I've had people, strangers come up to me like, oh, I have a family member who's lost their vision. I always give them the information about the Lighthouse, always. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's my first step because I'm sure, Thomas will answer the phone and let them know, you need to go through workforce or whatever. But, the Lighthouse is the place I give them to go so that they, even if they go through workforce, they know where they have another avenue.
Yeah. So we're about to wrap up. But before we do you have any final thoughts, especially for those who are listeners who are blind or low vision, about finding resilience, hope, and confidence through life's biggest changes?
Just don't give up. Do not give up. I mean, I know you're going to feel like you want to give up, and that's okay because you have to work through that too. Work through that, and then once you realize that nobody's at that pity party but yourself, there's light at the other side, and I mean, just you'll find it. You got to look for it. You got to want, and you got to put in the work for sure. Put in the work, but there is life after vision. There's a whole new life. And like I said, I feel like I see more now, with my other
like senses.
It's,
if you will.
It's not just,
it's like your mind's eye.
Yeah. It's
kinda.
Not just visual. There's life beyond that. Use your senses, I could see more now.
That's so cool.
Clearly.
I love that. I think that's the first time I've ever heard it put that way. And I think that's a really cool, perspective on things. Well, Ana, thank you for sharing your journey and your leadership and the heart that you bring to the Lighthouse of Houston every day. Your story is a powerful reminder that with support, community, and determination, people can rebuild their lives and redefine what's possible. You go, girl.
Thank you. Shout out to the Dream Team.
Yes,
Dream Team.
Big shout out to the Dream Team. That is our University of Houston call center. So we love y'all. Y'all are awesome. And then,
Go Rock.
Yes. To our listeners, we hope today's episode inspires you to take action, whether you're just navigating your own vision loss journey, seeking community, or exploring new career pathways. You can do it.
You can do it.
Exactly. To our listeners, you can find more episodes wherever you get your podcast or on our YouTube channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. We love that. Please do it. And then be sure to follow the Lighthouse of Houston on social media for updates and visit houstonlighthouse.org to learn more about our mission and our services. Until next time, this is Sightless Voices Unleashing Potential. So stay bold, stay determined, and keep unleashing your potential.
Yay.